place in points and so on back could win this race tonight, and he'll be fine. One race isn't going to make too big of a difference, especially if it's the third race of the season, but you got to be wondering why he would sit out of such a fun track.
Yeah, and these guys just pacing around race control trying to get settled in for the night. So they go single file around the bottom of the course here, getting ready to go green as soon as they can, and the track is cleared and they've been told that they have the good to go. But while we're waiting for them to get going here, let's talk a little bit about some of the people that support us here on ETV.
And the first person that we must talk about tonight is Bob Earl at BobEarlRacing.com, a simulation racing cockpit designed by champion race car driver Bob Earl. Who better than a real race car driver to design a simulation racing cockpit after all? He knows what it means to be comfortable in the cockpit. The design features a fully adjustable seat with frame, additional monitor stand, and shifter mount sold separately. Proud sponsor of the 2013 RSR Full Throttle Cup Series, which you can find here on ETV Live. A high quality and affordable virtual racing cockpit priced at just $349 plus shipping. See it at www.bobearlracing.com. That's www.bobearlracing.com. Someone else who does it for us here at ETV Live, Inside Sim Racing. But let's talk about ETV Live itself. ETV Live, the only choice in simulation auto racing broadcasting. Since 2008, ETV Live has produced over 700 shows for over 220,000 viewers. ETV Live has pioneered and engineered some of the best innovations in online auto sports broadcasting. With 3 pricing packages available, book yours today. The industry experts, ETV Live, it's the only choice. Contact us at www.etv/eplay.net or etvlive@etv/eplay.net.
Alright, and just getting a little bit more touch with race control. They're having trouble getting these guys being honest on where they qualified and getting them lined up so they can throw the yellow and get side-by-side racing here. So a couple more bugs for them to fix out here on the track. While they do that, I think we're going to step away for a moment, and when you come back, we should be able to go green.
Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages, cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980. Created specifically for iRacing's online racing simulation game, Trading Paints provides individual racers, leagues, and painters an opportunity to share their custom-designed paint schemes with other subscribers on the iRacing.com simulation service. Part of the fun of today's simulation racing games is showing off your high-quality work with a custom-painted car or truck. TradingPaints.com lists thousands of custom-painted cars and trucks available for download by simply creating an account and logging in. With all available templates at your fingertips, a simple desktop downloader will keep you up to date with the most recent custom-painted vehicles and templates. Check it out today. TradingPaints.com.
Alright guys, back here with the Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money Series, where they race every Sunday for the cash coming to the checkered flag and even a bigger jackpot prize at the end of the season. Still coasting around trying to get this driver order figured out for them to get started here tonight. As we discussed under commercial, you guys missed out on part of our show. We'll have to go back over due to our technical difficulties. But we'll get that all figured out because we want to give you guys 100% of the quality you deserve.
Once we get underway here at Talladega Superspeedway, if you bear with us that long, we will have, I promise you, a fantastic race. Last year, the first season of the Cora, the Championship Online Racing Association's Sunday Money Series, the first one that was ever broadcasted here on ETV Live. I had a chance to be in the broadcast booth, and it was here at Talladega Superspeedway. So that was their season finale, and so. When I watched that, they raced absolutely amazing. There were cautions, but it didn't really hinder the actual overall performance that there was, and all the way down to the last lap, there was just fantastic 3-wide racing and 4-wide racing, and so and all the guys that participated in that race, the majority of them are back here. It was a fantastic race. Dale Smalley and Michael Churchma, both 1 and 2 in the points, were racing to see who was going to get the championship in the first ever Sunday Money Series, and they put on one heck of a show for the viewers. And so tonight, when we watch this race, when we finally get underway, I guarantee there will be fast-paced white-knuckle racing. That's going to be fantastic.
Alright, and they have thrown the caution, so they'll get lined up here side by side as soon as they come back around and catch the pace car. But I wanted to take a quick look down at the 71. This is close to my hometown where we had the horrible tragic in Boston. You got the 71 of Vincent Vinny running the OneFundBoston.org car. You guys can go over there to One Fund Boston. Donate some money. It's a really good cause to help all those families out that were affected by such a tragic event that happened during the Boston Marathon.
It's always good when you see a community get together and people can find different ways to express and show how much something that a tragedy has affected them and how they would like to reach out and help the victims of said tragedy. And so it's very nice that that Vince and Vinny has been able to find this outlet to go ahead and try to get more money towards this tragedy and help those rebuild in Boston. And so it's always nice to see that that they're using the iRacing outlet as a source to be doing this, Matt.
Yeah, it is. And so as we come around the track, you got the pace car back out. You got these guys getting ready to go side by side behind the pace car when they come around and finally get this show on the road. Once they get going here, they will have probably about just a little over 90 laps to go green flag racing. And let's look at it realistically. They're going to have to make at least 2 pit stops here with at least one tank's only going to go about 40 laps to.
Looking at paint schemes, looking back at the number 69, Dale Smalley, he's got on the Talladega Nights Ricky Bobby Me paint scheme that actually Kurt Busch ran in the Sprint Cup Series at Talladega, and so it's pretty cool that that they can find some fun in that. It's got the Cougar on the front and it says me, and on the rear it says I want to go fast. I've seen him run that a couple times, both at Daytona, Talladega last season, and now Talladega this season. So it's always fun when people can both find an outlet to help other people and to make people laugh by doing their own custom paint schemes on their cars.
Yeah, I'm watching them line up here behind the pace car. They'll have to do a couple more laps here, single file, as that's what the simulation sets up for them. So they'll come around once, they'll get the 2 to green, they'll come around again, they'll get double filed up and ready to go. Here on ETV Live, though, we support Inside Sim Racing, sponsoring our Thursday night Real Sim Racing series. Inside Sim Racing, your first choice and best choice for all the news and reviews in online motorsports. Join Darren Ganji and Sean Cole for the latest and greatest in product reviews, simulation, auto racing game for the PC and the Xbox crowd. From steering wheels to full-size racing rigs, they'll always have your updates on popular racing games and a whole lot more. So guys, if you just go over there and you listen to their show on Inside Sim Racing, you'll figure out what's the newest and latest sim rigs you got out there to make maybe your little racing experience better.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to do it here, is with that, and so.
Alright. So guys, remembering, like, out in the points right now, you got Mark Lowy. He's to be your leader, and behind him, Kenneth O'Keefe, who's not here tonight. Kenneth O'Keefe has disappeared off the starting grid for this week, so he'll take a hit in the points after taking the cash from last week, maybe doing a little bit of partying with his winnings.
Yeah, and one thing, looking at the top 10 in points, the likes of James Brown, B.R. Bouchard, Kenneth O'Keefe, and Mark Loy, you see that some of these races that they've done, they did not race in, and so it's amazing that you can be so close up in the points. Looking back at some of the drivers that are big names in this series but yet aren't up there in the points, and it might change after tonight since some of the drivers like Kenneth O'Keefe are not racing. Dallas Miracle, who's currently 11th in points at 156 points, and then about three positions down from that, Michael Churchman, that number 88 racing tonight, who last season, in the season finale, he was racing for the championship against Dale Smalley. They were 1 and 2 in the points going into the final race, and so that's something to keep your eye on. We're only 3 races in to the Sunday Money Series, and so there will be a lot more things that are going to cook up and shape up during this season that will affect the points. It's just started. It's not quite over. So we're going to definitely see a bunch of names up there, I feel, in the top 10 by the time that checkered flag falls on the final race of the season. But look for some of those names that were there last time up at the front. Names like Dale Smalley, Alan Larson, Michael Churchma, Gordon Berkey. All those drivers are very fast, very good, and so it's going to be very entertaining to see this race tonight and see how much a super speedway can jostle up the point standings.
I mean, yeah, this is there's people say super speedway racing no skill, but it's all skill in the end because it's all about strategy and planning out where you're gonna make those passes and when your engine will be hot or cold.
Oh God, yeah. The thing about the strategy and everything, it's all going to come down the final laps. For instance, right before we were going to do that tribute lap, I was talking about what people call the 2-car tandem, and what that is people will either find a drafting partner that they felt were worthy or good enough during practice, and they will partner up with them, and both cars will lock each other bumper to front. And they will push each other through the corners and through the stretches, trying to make a healthy lead from the pack and try to get out there in the front. But that's what we're going to see here tonight, are those 2-car tandem race drafting. The thing is that the guy who's pushing it, their engine is going to start overheating. It's going to start getting hot, and you're going to see them kind of poking their head out every once in a while, trying to get a little bit of airflow in there. But sooner or later, so their engine doesn't explode on them and they're not out of the race, they're going to have to switch positions, and that's where things get a little bit dicey. Because if you have 3 tandem car groups going up there, that's 6 drivers all racing for first position, and all of a sudden the front 2 jump out because they have to switch positions. So you'll see the guy in the front go up high or go down low and let the guy pass, but as that's happening, they have lost the draft, and so they'll start falling back, and those other car tandems will start racing up there and trying to get past them. And so that's one of the exciting aspects of racing here at super speedways, is that are those 2-car tandems, and what happens when those 2 cars have to switch up, lose the draft, and those multitude of other cars come up right behind them to go past.
Yeah, guys, and just to let's go over what we're here and what we're doing tonight. This is Cora, the Championship Online Racing Association. You got Ted Manning up in the booth, and with me, you got Matt Close telling you what's going on around the track. Laura from LSR TV down there pressing the buttons for us tonight. Coming around this time, the lights will be off on the pace car. Going double file. We'll run you through your starting grid as they get set to take the green. Once they take the green, there will be 90 laps to go here in the Sunday Money Series race at Talladega Superspeedway. So starting on your front row tonight, you got the 07 of Gary Bauer, and outside of him, the number 48 of Dallas Markle.
In the second row, starting third, the number 69 of Dale Smalley, and right next to him, starting fourth, the number 88 of Michael Churchma.
Fifth, you got the 40 of David Wink, and on the outside of him in sixth, the 10 of Eric Sharp.
Starting seventh, the number 24 of Alan Larson, and starting eighth, the number 11 of Bruce R. Bouchard.
Ninth, you've got the number 3 of John Gordon, and starting on the outside of him, the number 10 of 14 of Ronald Jones.
Starting 11th, the number 46 of Buddy Waters, and starting 12th, the number 31 of Richard Brose.
13th, the number 7 of Gordon Berkey, and on the outside of him, the 32 of Brandon Cody.
The number 19 of Alan Starring is starting off 15th, and starting off 16th right beside him, the number 27 of Mark Glowy.
17th, you got James Brown, and in the 18th position, number 62, Michael D'Amico.
Starting 19th, number 71, Vincent Vinny, and rounding out your top 20, starting off, number 99, Garrett Denton.
21st through 25th, you have Mark Arthur, Jonathan Smith, Jared Therese, Ken Martin, and Norman Sildelik.
And rounding out your field, starting 26th, Daniel E. Miller, then Patrick Walsh, Brian Coveney, Doug Nigel, Verlis Falcons, John Larson, Kevin Van, and opting not to qualify tonight, but still starting at the rear of the field, the number 83 of Nick Giles and the number 22 of Ralph Shipman.
All right, guys, we have the field set here tonight to go 90 laps under green once they take the flag. Pace car getting ready to pull off here as they'll have another long trip around the dogleg to the start-finish line, which is all the way down there, almost in turn 1.
They will hit the car, the pace car will go down. They'll start coming up as their engines are revving, and the green flag will drop here at Talladega Superspeedway. Will finally be underway, and green flag does drop at the 2.66 mile track here, Talladega Superspeedway. We are underway, ladies and gentlemen.
Staying even all the way into turn 1, a little bit of separation. The 48 of Dallas Markle is going to get down low. The low line definitely preferred the shortest way around these big tracks.
Dallas Miracle will tuck in right behind the number 07 of Gary Bauer, who will dip up a little high. Number 48, Dallas Miracle, will now jump up high, being pushed by the number 69 of Dale Smalley, as he will make a run to the outside, and he will try to lead this lap here at Talladega, heading off into 3.
Picking up the 07, trying to keep him out front, you got the number 40 of David Wink. He's tucking in right behind him, trying to push him up, keeping the air right below the 69.
That number 69 of Dale Smalley, though, is pushing the number 48 of Dallas Miracle hard into the tri-oval as they'll move around, and Dallas Miracle, the number 48, will lead the first lap here at Talladega Superspeedway. All the cars dipping and dodging side by side, trying to find their drafting partner as the tandem draft starts to hook up. Up front, the number 48 of Dallas Miracle being pushed by the number 69 of Dale Smalley. That's the first tandem to link up and actually start doing something. 3 wide back as they start moving down the backstretch.
Yeah, you got Michael Trisma, who just got hooked on the outside and put all the way back to about 10th place, but finally catching up with David Wink, and he's in no man's land.
Yeah, back in number 40, David Wink in the 4th position is trying to catch up to the 07 of Gary Bauer, our pole sitter. But right beside them, the number 46 of Buddy Waters being pushed by the 88 of Michael Churchma as they move up high. That's another tandem car group that has locked up, and they are heading up there. But now the number 40 of David Wink, he locks up with the number 07 of Gary Bauer as they push to try to get the lead from the leader.
Off pace all the way in the back, last place 26, Varus Falcons, left without a draft partner. He's going to be about 2 seconds off the pace each lap without the tango. So look for the leaders to catch up to him fairly quickly if we stay under the green flag conditions here tonight.
Number 24 of Alan Larson looking back in the 6th position. Looks like he's getting a little bit loose as he's being pushed by the number 3 of John Cordone. So look for him as he gets a little loose going on to the front stretch. But up at the front, number 46, Buddy Waters taking the lead from Dale Smalley and Dallas Miracle as they move up ahead. But Dale Smalley in that number 69 does not want to give up the front spot as him and Dallas Miracle push hard down the back stretch as they head into 3.
Down off into 3, side by side, still for the lead.
Looking back, a car in the wall dips down, crash right behind him, exiting turn number 4. I need to look back and see where that happened, but caution should be coming out on the raceway as a big crash, car upside down in turn 3. Caution out here at Talladega Super Speedway. Let me try to go back and see exactly what might have happened and see what car this ended up happening to.
And that looks like the number 27 all the way back here with the number 10 car, starting it all off. And this starts actually all the way down on the back stretch, guys. You got the number 10 of Eric Sharp giving the push to the 99 and just couldn't hold on to it. He's into the outside wall and collects the 27 and sends him for an ETV ride.
Yeah, it seems that the number 10 tried to as he was pushing, he got a little bit loose, and the good thing about it is that he did hold on to it at first, but it seems that he might have overcorrected, bounced into the wall, and just nowhere to go going off into that turn as he gets off the wall and comes down in to the number 27, which was Mark Glowy, as Mark Glowy then went for a heck of a ride, bouncing off the wall, then flipping to the side and bouncing off the hood in true Ryan Newman fashion of the number 56 of Brian Coveney, as the 27 went for one heck of a ride, Mark Glowy that is, pirouetting down turn number 4 and onto its roof.
We got a few guys electing to pit here, which I don't think is half a bad move. Those caution laps helped a little bit, but definitely pitting here would make it a one-stop race to the end for all of the drivers down on pit road right now. So you got people like Brandon Cody, Mark Glowy, who's in there actually to fix his damage. He's waiting on a tow. You got Mark Arthur, Kevin Van, Jared Treese, all coming down pit road, topping off, hopefully making it one stop to the end.
And hopefully that will happen as we are currently on lap 17 of 101 laps here at Talladega Super Speedway. But as we are under caution here, we will take it trackside and go for a little bit of a commercial break here. We'll be right back with ETV Live here, Cora at Talladega Super Speedway.
If you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50 caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, cowboy.
Back live here, Talladega Super Speedway, under caution, the first one of the night. You get a camera down there on the 27. Mark Glowy is this crew's done amazing work. They got the backup out. He will have to restart a lap down, but another quick caution will give him the lucky dog to put him right back into this race.
Yeah, and all that, and here at Talladega Super Speedway, that lucky dog might come sooner than later, as one of the coveted sayings that I have brought here to the Cora Series is that cautions will breed cautions, and at Talladega Super Speedway or at any super speedway, that is more so than anywhere else. And so Dale Smalley in the number 69 is out in front. His tandem drafting partner from earlier, the number 48 of Dallas Miracle, is right behind him. So when we get back under green here at Talladega Super Speedway, you can expect the same white knuckle racing that we just gave you, that last green flag run.
Ted, I think it would be smart of these guys to get single filed out for a little bit and try and just ride along for the ride, because there's well over 200 miles left here to go in the race tonight. So to be settled out and probably try and just get your strategy figured out on when you're going to pit, it will be the smartest move.
Yeah, definitely. They saw what that first green flag run will do. It wasn't too much of an error on a bunch of cars' faults. No one really grouped up, and the big one hasn't happened yet. So I think now that the first caution has come out, the first caution brought on by a wreck has come out, I think now that they will all sit back, talk to their spotters, talk to their crew chiefs, and really think of a strategy on what they should do, how they should calm down, and what they should look forward to as the laps start winding down here at Talladega Superspeedway.
Dale Smalley, last season's winner, the winner of the big jackpot prize. Last season, $100 went to the man Dale Smalley, who's out front leading a race right now, and that's what these drivers are racing again for in this season, is the huge grand prize at the end of the season.
Yeah, and in order to get into the season, you must pay up money to get into these races, and what that does is that ends up giving a nice pot towards the end of the season. And so these guys, they're not just racing for fun. They're not just racing because they love iRacing, they love the sport. You know, they're racing for something. And so, of course, that is going to breed very, very good, fantastic, exciting racing that other series might not give you. And so that's one of the good things that draws people to the Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money Series, is the fact that these guys can lose something. All right, they do have something to lose, but they have a bunch to gain if they win this race.
They have more to gain than I think to lose here, Ted. As most of these drivers probably self-funding everything that they're doing here at home, getting the latest sim racing rigs from people like Bob Earl or Inside Sim Racing, using those amazing reviews they provide everybody to pick the best gear.
Yeah, and in order to race in a high-speed series like this, you do need something like a racing seat and a panel and all that stuff, something that Bob Earl can give you. And so, I mean, when it comes down to it, if you want to be a professional racer, you want to look like a professional racer, then you need to have a setup for a professional racer. iRacing is no joke. It hasn't been a joke for a while. And even though it is a game that is on the computer and everything, it has really evolved over into something quite much more, to now we're doing televised broadcasts for it on the internet. And so I think it's crossed that threshold of just being a game into where it's now a full-fledged sport for that broadcaster's given. So that's one of the most exciting aspects. But pace car drops down. Take us to that green, Matt.
Coming all the way down the long front straightaway, Dale Smalley leading them to the green flag. They're getting lined up here, anxious to go, and they drop the green. Dale Smalley off to a slow start. 48 of Dallas Miracle trying to get a run all the way into turn 1 and completes the pass.
Dallas Miracle getting a push by the number 88 of Michael Churchma, jumps down in front of his drafting partner Dale Smalley, as they will once again jump up into the lead. But right behind them, the number 46 of Buddy Waters being pushed by the number 07 of Gary Bauer, another tandem group that had ended up bouncing up together and trying to get to the front, but not to give up position too much. Michael Churchman, that number 88, being pushed by the number 40 of David Wink as they're up high.
Churchma definitely being a strong competitor here, but his drafting partner breaks off, almost making it 3 wide in the center of the turn, and causes a wreck coming out at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a whole lot more is going to be involved in this, taking out the entire rear of the field, and this will bring out the second yellow of the night.
Big wreck behind them as cars start spinning off of one another as they head off into the front turn. The number 40 got disconnected from his drafting partner and ended up causing this chain reaction. David Wink, what ended up happening, got a little bit loose coming off of turn 4 from his drafting partner, Michael Churchma. As they came around, he disconnected, went up high, and it looks as if he comes down into the number 3, and that is the number 3 of John Corden. As he comes down, goes up, barely misses the number 88 of Michael Churchma, slams into the wall, comes right back down into the number 24 of Alan Larson, and then a chain reaction happens after that as number 3 of John Cordon goes back up into the wall, collecting several cars. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the big one here at Talladega Super Speedway, and we're only 20 laps into this race.
Yeah, I'm looking for one specific car I call my blimp that got through here. It's going to give me a minute here to see if Laura can't give us the best picture for a ride through here.
A lot of cars, it looks like, Matt, are smoking. Looks like a lot of engines have busted out. One car in particular is that number 24 of Alan Larson. Another car to be looking at smoking is the number 71, that Boston Marathon car, which is also smoking. There are a lot of cars and a lot of people that look like to be out of this race after that huge wreck on the front stretch on lap 20.
Yeah, Laura, down there on the buttons. Let's see if you can't hook us up with a ride with the number 56 car all the way through this wreck. Right in his cockpit, he makes it through this, and I couldn't tell you how. It looks like a couple cars might have lagged that he got through, but still, through there, unscathed, the number 56 of Brian Conveni.
Yeah, looking at the camera within his cockpit as they came around and they started wrecking in front of him, he just put the pedal to the metal and raced right through there and tried to get through, holding his breath. And man, he just unbelievable the way he was able to get through there unscathed. Absolutely fantastic driving by Brian Coveney.
Yeah, just as we were coming around here under yellow, few cars taking the pit. Definitely, each team here, like last week at Charlotte, allowed to bring out 2 backups as far as we've been notified by race control. So a lot of these guys are going to have to go down, use one of those backup cars, and get back out here and try to win the race as quick as possible.
And that's always a good. That's nice that they introduced that rule as so it gives people the opportunity and the chance to come back out here, race for points, not to fall too far back, and actually maybe even get a chance to get back up there and win this race. But Matt, there were a lot of cars collected in that wreck. A lot of cars and a lot of drivers having to go to their backup cars, and so it's gonna be pretty hard to see that.
And you're looking at the onboard of number 56 right now, as I mentioned. Just in the slow-mo action going through here, you got cars upside down, cars spinning on his left, on his right, and right in front of him. And just by miracle, with a little help from connection issues, he's able to get through this wreck unscathed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, maybe there was a little bit of a miracle in itself getting through there, but you also got to put it on the driver. That was absolutely great driving. It looked to me, by looking at it, that he just kind of pushed his pedal to the floor and then hoped to God he was going to get through there in time. A note that we would like to make is the number 10 of Eric Sharp. He has taken his car behind the wall, and we're getting word that he might not be able to return off the track, as his ticker has gone from off to out as he goes behind the wall, ending his race short tonight on lap 23 of 101.
Same thing with Richard Brose. He's pulled it behind the wall for the night. You got people like David Wang, Jordan Gordon down on pit road right now trying to fix it up as much as they can and get back out there racing for the win. Buddy Waters leading us after that caution, followed by Michael Churchma, Ronald Jones, Kevin Van, and Brian Conveni, the miracle man in that last caution, to round out your top 5.
Yeah, how about that? Earlier on, I even said that at one point in the race, you could be leading, or you could be in 12th place on the back stretch, and then on the front stretch, being first. And he's not quite in first, but he jumped a significant amount of cars after that massive wreck, and he is now sitting in the top 5 when we go back to green. And so that's it's always fascinating to see something like that happen, but it's also not rare to see it happen at Talladega Superspeedway.
Not rare at all, but collecting the entire field, I'm guessing 5th on back, because that's where Brian Conveni ended up. All in backup cars at this point. There was not a single car behind them that got through that, other than the 56, as they just swallowed up the entire track. Coming down this time by, Buddy Waters should see the lights go off on the pace car, and Michael Churchma will take the outside lane as they'll get ready to go back green flag racing with a little less than 80 laps to go.
You're looking at several cars that are off the lead lap. Mark Gloy looking at 26, so it will be 26 on back. Mark Gloy 1 lap down, Bruce Bouchard 1 lap down, David Wink, Ken Martin, Verlis Falcons, and John Cordone all 1 lap down. We mentioned earlier Eric Sharp and Richard Brose have both taken their cars behind the wall after absolutely significant damage was done to their vehicles after that massive crash, the big one on lap 21.
Definitely the big one, but will it be the only big one tonight is the question, as they've been not so much starting out with huge wrecks, just simple mistakes that wind up taking out a huge chunk of the field. The pace lights remained on as they had a little bit of delay with cars shooting down pit road under that last lap.
Yeah, so a main thing to look at is the fact that just tiny mistakes end up costing a bunch for these drivers. I mean, you do have ones that are only a lap down on such a track that's huge like this. They can easily get it back up there. But guys like Eric Sharp and Richard Brose, who are both now out of the race because of these little mistakes. And I think what these drivers need to do under caution now is kind of sit back and wonder to themselves how they're going to fix this. Because the 2 past cautions that we've seen, they've both bounced off of one another while trying to draft each other and do that tandem drafting, and they've gotten just disconnected. The air got them a little loose, and they slammed up into the wall, and after that it was just, I mean, you have so many people behind them, because it's happened so far to the guys that are up in the top 5 or top 10. And so it's really hard to get through there. I mean, look at the onboard camera of the guy that's sitting at 5th place right now, or not 5th place anymore, 4th place right now, the number 56 of Brian Coveney. He just barely got through that, and he was pretty far back. But we're getting word now that Mark Chloe has gotten the wave around the lucky dog, and he will come around and get back onto the lead lap. And so that's something to look for now here as we come on down the tri-oval. Maybe we'll see the lights go off that car, Matt.
Yeah, Glowy, though, with heavy damage on that number 27 machine as he's trying to catch up to the field. It looks like just on the rear, possibly, from getting to that wreck. Maybe somebody getting to the back of him a little bit. Yeah, we're hearing that the left front's a little badged in. So definitely going to be a little aerodynamic trouble on that 27. As he needs to work his way to the front. He's our points leader right now, coming out of Charlotte last week, only by a few. And going to be catching up to him tonight is going to be Brandon Cody if he can't move forward.
Lights are off on the pace car as they go off of turn 2 onto the backstretch. They are now going double file line. Some cars that we have not seen up there at the front of the pack is the number 14 of Ronald Jones. He has the Voodoo sponsorship on his car tonight. Also someone else who we have not seen up there, John Larson, the number 98. And so that wreck not only has cost the race for some, but has given light to some, as you see some big names get up there. The number 17, Gordon Berkey. We now see him fighting up there in the front, and we'll probably see him fighting for the lead. Other cars like the number 83 of Nick Giles, number 07 of Gary Bauer. He's back in the top 10 after racing up in the front and being our pole sitter. And so there's a lot of guys who have a good chance to get up there, Matt. And so it'll be interesting when we go back to green to see.
Yeah. We're here in the 99 of Garrett Denton, up front, 6th place position, torn up. The rear panel off that car, the front panel's off that car, and the nose is all crunched in. I don't know what he's... Let's just say that's going to be a little tough spot for him. It's not... He wants to be up front, we understand, but they do give him a backup.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see as we're going to go green flag racing this time by. So we'll see just how he handles in the draft with that torn up race car. Might be good, might be bad. My bet's on the latter of the two, but the pace car dips down and we will be going green flag racing this time by as they head through the tri-oval. Looking up at our leader, the number 46 of Buddy Waters will take them to the green flag as green flag is up and out here at Talladega Super Speedway as we are back to racing with Michael Churchma trying to get that lead.
Yeah, Churchma with a good run down into one, but the outside groove's just so long around these gigantic turns. It's going to cost him more time than it gave him, and there goes the 14 of Ronald Jones by Churchma, drafting the 46.
Yeah, and it also didn't help that he really didn't have a drafting partner on that. The car that was right behind him, the number 56, wasn't really able to give him that good of a push. As now the number 56 of Brian Coveney, the guy who got through that massive wreck, now links up, and whoa, he got a little bit loose. He bounced up the racetrack. That's what we just saw earlier on. That caused one of those wrecks, so hopefully they can try to get that fixed and get back out there. But up at the front, the number 46 of Buddy Waters being pushed by the Voodoo Racing number 14 of Ronald Jones as they head off in the tri-oval, and he will lead this lap.
Yeah, trying to catch him quickly, this number 98, John Larson. 3rd position being pushed by the 17 of Gordon Berkey as they separate a little bit through the turn. The 90 of Garrett Denton being able to keep up, but almost causing a couple wrecks in there through the middle of the turn.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how this tore-up race car, we're looking at the number 99 of Garrett Denton, is able to hold on to his car. He's pushing the number 98 right in front of him, John Larson, through the turns. And so Dale Smalley there, you got underneath the number 69. So it's going to be very weird to see if he gets through this unscathed. So far, so good, though, as they head off of the tri-oval towards the start-finish line.
Yeah, we're hearing actually from race control that number 99, Garrett Denton, came down pit road, got his little bit of a repaired car, we'll say. It's a little bit of a glitch in our simulation here. That is a brand new car, even though we do not see it as a brand new car. So out there racing tonight, 99 in his backup, trying to go for the win.
Well, that's even more exciting to hear. A guy in his backup up there in the front all of a sudden pushing that number 98 of John Larson as they are in the front right now as they took the lead away from the number 46 of Buddy Waters, and they might lead this lap. So going to a backup car, starting up in the field and now pushing the leader to the start-finish line. Very exciting here at Talladega Super Speedway, and I guarantee we have more exciting news to come as the number 99 jumps down low, the number 98 up top. That's what we were talking about, the overheating as they switch off tandem draft, and they might be stuck in the middle here. But Dale Smalley won't be able to make that run on the high side as his draft partner jumped back from him.
Yeah, and you got the 46 Buddy Waters back there on the inside with number 14. Just trying to get their way back up the lead, and we'll see a lot of this, especially if they have to separate too early. They'll get swallowed up by the whole pack and maybe go from 1st to 10th before they even know what happened.
Yeah, that was a very unique thing that we just saw there. I think the reason why number 99 and the number 98, they both, well, number 98 of John Larson kind of broke away from the 99 there, but 99 of Garrett Denton will be taking that lap as the leader. And one thing that we saw was that when they broke apart, usually that means that they're going to get swallowed up, like you said, by the pack. However, the number 83 of Nick Giles, who was pushing Dale Smalley in that number 69 Me car, they ended up breaking apart a little bit. I don't know if you thought there was a wreck that was about to happen or what, but they broke apart, and that ended up loosening the air up, and they ended up getting back together, and the number 99, Garrett Denton, led that lap. But now these cars are getting very packed up as they head back onto the Tri-Oval.
You got teammates back in the field, a little separated from the pack, maybe for safety measures. You got the 4 and the 27 in 20th and 21st, just tangling along. That's Kevin Van and Mark Lowy trying to catch their way up a little bit in a safety spot, but not too quick because, you know, they won't have time to react.
Yeah, and looking back up at the front, these cars are starting to pack up close to one another. Very close, exciting racing, as the number 99 of Garrett Denton is still being pushed by the number 98 of John Larson on that high side, trying to make that high line work. But Buddy Waters and number 98 gets loose. He spins down low, and they are wrecking, going, car upside down. Big wreck, Matt.
Another huge wreck, and like I said, Glowy's just been able to cruise on through this. He was in a safe spot. Same thing, teammate Kevin Van. So smart move by them, staying out there in the back, and definitely tons and tons of cars cut up in this wreck.
Yeah, a lot of massive wrecking here. The number 98 is the guy who started it here. As we are looking at him, what ended up happening, he was the one that we were looking at. He was the one pushing the number 99 of Garrett Denton as they're going off into the turn. He ended up clipping his right corner panel, losing control and dipping down low. He barely missed the number 7, but slammed into the number 19 car, and that's the number 19 of Alan Staring as he dipped down, hit him, and spun out. The number 04 of Patrick Walsh had nowhere to go as he dipped down on the apron. He was caught up in it as the number 3 then started another chain reaction, turning the 20 up into, it looked like the number 07, our pole sitter. But the guy who got the worst of it as things started happening was the number 3, and that is the number 3 of John Cordone. As you'll see him slam into the wall, get hit by the number 32, and just go absolute airborne.
Yeah, Buddy Waters leading as we took the caution. They'll come around here to take their pit stops under yellow. While they do that, we're going to step away one more time here on lap 32 with the Cora Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money. Don't go away. We'll be right back here, ETV Live, Channel 2.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
plus other listeners where you could hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV live sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway, brought to you by the Championship Online Racing Association. Qualifying 3 nights a week for a shot at the Sunday Money Superspeedway Series. Drivers pay an entry fee of $5. Then a percentage of the fees is up for grabs on Sunday night by the top 3 finishers. Win a trip to the bank and visit them at coracmk.ning.com.
Yeah, these drivers wouldn't be able to do it without some of the top and latest simulation gear from Derek Spear Designs, sponsoring in part with Inside Sim Racing TV of the RSR Asphalt Assault Series, taking part here on ETV Live every Thursday night. Derek Spears Designs manufactures top-shelf simulation racing components such as pedals, shifter, button boxes, and way more. All is reasonable price and the kind of gear for champion sim racing drivers need. Bulletproof, boot stomping strong. See his gear at DerekSpearDesigns.com. That's right, you can go see it right over at DerekSpearDesigns.com.
And back here at Talladega Superspeedway, like I said, we're still under caution here with Buddy Waters up front leading this pack. Gordon Berkey behind him, Michael Churchma, Garrett Denton, and Nick Giles rounding out your top 5. Big thing to talk about here at Talladega Superspeedway is just the amount of wrecks that have ended up happening here already, just because of drafting issues or driver error or what have you, and it's led to a bunch of cars being out of the race. Another person who has just brought it behind the wall, the number 32 of Brandon Cody has retired from this race. So another driver who was up all front today, out of the race.
Yeah, there's a few drivers now, they've got to be out of those extra backup cars down on pit road. You just got Mark Lowy, though, standing strong. And I don't know how he's out there doing it. That 99 Garrett Denton in a backup, even though it shows all that damage, it's really a clean car. Running up front in his backup, so definitely different situation for him there.
And it just shows that their backup car is finally tuned to this speedway as well. And so if you do go with your backup car after these wrecks, you still have a chance. Garrett Denton is your prime example right there, as he sits comfortably in 4th place. Almost got collected in that wreck, as his drafting partner, the number 98 of John Larson, ended up getting hooked on his rear quarter panel, but Garrett held on to it, and he now sits comfortably in 4th place as the lights on the pace car are off, and these guys are going double file, and we will once again go back to green flag racing. But I mean, Matt, I don't think we have too many cars left on the lead lap that can hold this race up.
Yeah, as you're coming down the backstretch past that Sunoco sign in turn 2. Just this is where most of the accidents start. Pushing too hard down the backstretch, getting on that right rear corner panel is where we've seen the problem. It either shoots you up towards the wall or down towards the apron. So these cars are a little sensitive with how much pressure you're putting on the rear bumper, the one in front of you. And these guys don't have a gauge for that. It doesn't tell you how much pressure you're putting to that guy in front of you to send him around. And they end up sending themselves around.
And the number 11 of Bruce R. Bouchard is our lucky dog after that caution, as he moves around and now sits in the number 22 position in his number 11 car. And so we will head off into turn 3. Then turn 4, head off into the tri-oval, and we'll be back to green flag racing. Hopefully we'll see some good green flag runs being raced here, as we're only on lap 35 of 101 laps that are going to be performed here at Talladega Superspeedway. So we still got a long way to go, Matt, but hopefully we'll see some good green flag racing in here at Talladega Superspeedway.
Coming down on the long front stretch. Each pace lap here taking about 2 minutes and 15 seconds to get all the way around here at 70 miles an hour. We're going to see the pace car dip off and then continue that speed for another halfway down the stretch until they get the green flag.
Heading off into the tri-oval, the group being led by the number 46 of Buddy Waters, and right beside him the number 17 of Gordon Berkey, as green flag is out on the speedway, and we are back to green flag racing here at Talladega Superspeedway. Buddy Waters in that number 46 heading off into turn 1 as he still holds on to the lead. But up top, that number 17 of Gordon Berkey now leaving his drafting partner Garrett Denton and jumping behind the number 46 of Buddy Waters, right in front of the number 88 of Michael Churchma.
Yeah, in back here, you got that 48 following them to about the 10th place position.
Yeah, he'll fall back, not catching the draft in time, but looking back up at the front, the 17 of Garrett, or the 17 being pushed by number 99 of Garrett Denton, Gordon Berkey, trying to catch up to the front, but that fast car of Buddy Waters and that number 46 being pushed by the number 88, another fast car, Michael Churchma, heading up there, but not to be left out in the dust, the number 69 of Dale Smalley being pushed by the number 83 of Nick Giles in that Goodwrench car as they head off into the turn and trying to make something happen here at Talladega Superspeedway.
You see the 83, Nick Giles sliding up a little bit. They go below him. He comes back down, staying straight. I don't know how, because they almost caused two huge wrecks there going through the turn.
That was absolutely great driving right there. You could see that they were about to get a little bit of sideways, but he held on to it, Nick Giles, in that number 83, and now they are pushing hard and strong as they exit turn 4, and Nick Giles will go up high with his drafting partner Dale Smalley, and maybe Dale Smalley can lead a lap here at Talladega Superspeedway. But Buddy Waters in that number 1 position, that number 46, has a very fast car, and it also helps he's being pushed by another very fast car, the number 80 of Michael Churchma. Whoa! Number 83 getting a little bit loose again, going off into that turn, Matt.
Looking back in the field, 15th and 16th position, you've got Kevin Vaughn and Mark Lowy once again hooked up, teammates sticking till the end, going to try and work their way to the front here with the remainder of this race. A little over 60 laps to go here.
Another thing to note, we have 2 more cars that have fallen behind the wall after taking significant damage from these past 2 wrecks that have happened. That's John Cordone in the number 3 and Ken Martin in the number 5. But looking back up at the front, Dale Smalley once again working with the number 83 of Nick Giles, trying to get that lead. They are pushing very hard to get up there as Smalley will get it, but now jumping below him, Nick Giles in the 83 makes it 3 wide, off into turn 2 and now onto the backstretch. They could have had that lead, but they had to switch off. Maybe they had a little problem there with their engine overheating, or maybe he just had too much of a run on Dale Smalley.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of the overheating, and they'll be able to push for a lot longer than the 46 and the 88 now, which will carry them easily by Buddy Waters when they need to. But Churchma pushing them out to a little bit of a space once again.
Yeah, he'll push him out to a little bit of a space, and we have another caution out on the track, another major wreck out on the track here at Talladega Superspeedway as we are under caution once again as we look around trying to find this wreck that has happened.
And I see your points leader, Mark Lowy, involved along with Kevin Vaughn. It looks like it may have started in front of him with the 48 and the 19.
Yeah, it was them heading off onto the backstretch. We'll see exactly what happened as they head off into turn 3. The number 19 getting loose as he flies down to the inside. That's Alan Starring. He jumps down, slams into the 4 and 27, and now they spin out, collecting several more cars. That's more cars slamming into one another, and that's going to be a lot of cars out, Matt.
Yeah, I think that's actually going to take Mark Lowy out of the race. Mark Lowy out of the race along with Kevin Vaughn, as that's going to be the end of their backups. Not too affecting though. Brandon Cody also off the track at this point. So that's your points leader and your third place in points off the track. This is really helping a guy like Kenneth O'Keefe who couldn't show up tonight.
Yeah, that's another car. Mark Lowy on his, he's smoking hard, so he's going to have to pull that up behind the wall, maybe get into a backup car if he hasn't used up his backup car yet. And so it'll be interesting to see how many cars we really do have left on the lead lap after we go back to green here. But once again, another wreck here at Talladega Superspeedway. We're on lap 40 of 101 here. And Matt, it's getting interesting, man.
Yeah, it's getting interesting here. I'm using a little bit of social media, guys. Check out that left-hand chat room, channel 1, channel 2, it doesn't matter. They're both linking up the same as we can see tonight. You can notify guys in the other race what's going on. You can see what's going on over there. I'm just trying to hook up and see what other people think and who's going to actually survive this race.
Yeah, that's that's definitely a good that's definitely a good way of looking at who's going to survive it. Our producer Laura just whispered in our ear the pace car, and I think the pace car has the best bet right now here out on the track, as we have seen a lot of cars go into the wall. Someone that has Norman Sidlick, who has taken his car behind the wall, and he will be out for the remainder of this race. So it's just interesting to see all of these drivers and how they're reacting to these wrecks. Up front, Nick Giles, the number 83, followed by Dale Smalley, Gordon Berkey, Garrett Denton, Vincent Vinny, rounding out your top 5 here at Talladega Superspeedway.
Yeah, and just this whole night's going to be great racing as long as they can keep it going. Up front, they can't decide who wants to lead the pack, but in the back, these guys got to figure out what's going on. They got to realize they can't push so hard. They've got plenty of laps. They got to settle it up and try and get a little bit of a stretch, or they're not really going to be going anywhere.
By the end of this race, I hate to say it, but I think by the end of this race, all the boys will be separated from the men, and so I still have faith that we're going to have a great finish here at Talladega, but that's still a far way away. Like I said, we're only 41 laps in out of 101. So once again, under caution, we're going to take it to the side and we're going to talk about the boys that make it happen for us. And nothing would happen here on ETV Live without the HD Radio Network, the home of ETV Live Radio. The HD Radio Network gives you a variety of stations choosing from, including big 80s metal, all HDR classics, all HDR country, and more. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude. HD Radio Network stations are featured on iTunes Radio, TuneIn Radio, and also listed in the Windows Media Guide. Listen today from hdradionetwork.com or take it with you. Get the mobile app from tunein.com. And that's ETV Live. ETV Live Radio, supported by the HD Radio Network, features classic rock every hour, every day. You can also catch live events such as race day broadcasts right from the booth and listen to engaging talk shows every week. ETV Live Radio featured in the sports sections of iTunes. Get the mobile app from tunein.com and look for us on the Windows Media Guide. ETV Live Radio on the HD Radio Network. But meeting us up here in the booth is Mark Arthur. And Matt, you got Mark Arthur there, right?
Yeah, guys, we have Mark Arthur in the 20 machine tonight. We see you riding around in the back right now a little bit. Probably involved in a couple of those wrecks there. What have you seen coming out of your windshield tonight?
Most of the wrecks are coming from up front. I think every wreck's came from up front, actually, and we try to get slowed down and we just get ran over from the back. I don't know what guys are thinking, not hitting their brakes or coming to a stop thinking they're going to gain positions, and they just need to slow down. The caution's out. You're not gaining anything. I just don't get it.
Yeah, it looks like a couple of your teammates are done at this point, but what do you think's really causing these wrecks? Is it pushing somebody, causing a little bit too much pressure on the rear bumper?
Yeah, the Gen 6 cars are a lot looser than the old 8 cars were, but I don't know what's causing the caution. I don't know why they're not single file, and that's just impatience at these tracks. It's just like people get to Talladega and lose their mind.
All right, Mark Arthur, under this caution, how would you say your pit strategy is looking for the rest of this race? I know it looks like you got to do at least one more stop. Would you want to get that out of the way or and try and get in front working these cautions, or maybe wait a little bit and see how it goes?
The way the cautions are coming, and they're coming from up front, so I'm kind of timid to be up there right now. So I think I'm just going to ride back here for another 30 laps and see what happens, and then try to get up to the front.
All right, well, this is your time to shine on the camera. Is there anybody you want to thank before we get going green here again?
Just my teammates, Mark Lloyd, Kevin Vaughn, Twisty Motorsports, Glory Racing,
All right, guys, that's your number 20, Mark Arthur, going probably towards the front for the rest of the night, trying to avoid the wrecks while doing it. Ted, let's see how the rest of this is going to wind up.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how this exactly is going to wind up. We still have a lot to go. We're, like I said, on lap 43 out of 101. Lights are off on the pace car as they've gone double file. Nick Giles in that number 83 decides to take the inside line with the number 69, Dale Smalley, in his custom paint job there, taking that high side. And so it's going to be interesting to see exactly what's going to happen. Maybe, just maybe, they have learned their lesson here from these past 3 cautions that we've seen, but we don't know yet, and we won't know until we get some green flag laps underway once again. I'm going to say it, cautions breed cautions. We've seen that all tonight, but hopefully this caution that we just had will breed a green flag run, because we're pretty overdue for one, Matt.
Way overdue for one, and a very long one. If that, they got to carry this probably another 58 laps, it's looking like, on my ticker to get to the end. So definitely one pit stop in there somewhere, and probably 4 fresh Goodyears on all those cars. Nick Giles started second to last place, guys, all the way in the back, all the way up front. Now he's going to lead you down to the green flag.
Yes, he will. One thing to take note, the number 71 of Vincent Vinny, who took massive damage and even took a very heavy spill earlier on in a wreck that happened here, he is now sitting in his backup car in 5th place. And so, like we said, as long as you have a backup car and you can use it, anything can happen as the pace car dips down low onto pit road, and these boys fasten their seatbelts, get it on tight, and they come down to this start-finish line to get underway once again here at Talladega Superspeedway. Exiting the tri-oval, the green flag is in the air. We are back to green flag racing here at Talladega Superspeedway.
Yeah, down the speedway, heading off into turn 1. Dale Smalley making the pass for the lead and extending it out a little bit. That's not always the best thing, as the 99 of Garrett Denton's going to be able to get a little bit of a run here.
And he will, as he'll now start to fall back a little bit, hooking up with the number 34 of James Brown, someone we have not seen here all day, as the number 83 will hook up with Garrett, with the number 69 of Dale Smalley, rather. Nick Giles there in that 83. And now they've gotten hooked up. They've stopped smashing against each other. James Brown pushing the number 99 of Garrett Denton up high, and maybe he can make a run up to the front. But as we saw earlier, Dale Smalley has a very fast car as well. The number 99 almost gets turned down but saves it. James Brown gave him a little hard push as Garrett Denton is still loose coming down. I don't know if it's a performance issue with his car or not, but he holds on to it and still tries to hold on to the draft from your front 2 guys, Dale Smalley and Nick Giles.
Yeah, Garrett Denton all there on the bottom lane by himself. That's not too great at super speedway. You need a partner. Following him, the number 17, Gordon Berkey, being pushed by James Brown on that last lap. Now being pushed by Vincent Vinny, actually looks like, in that 71 Boston Strong car.
Yeah, Vincent Vinny pushing the number 17 of Gordon Berkey. Garrett Denton without a drafting partner as of right now, as Michael Churchman drops back to the 7th position, and then that number 88 with James Brown right in front of him. Looking back up at the front, a very hefty lead by Dale Smalley and the number 83 of Nick Giles, as well as they headed off into the tri-oval and past that start-finish line. 3 wide behind them, though, with Michael Churchman in the middle, James Brown up top, as they're still trying to figure out who they want to work with, who can't they work with, and things are getting a little crazy there, Matt.
Yeah, but like Mark Arthur, they got to settle this stuff down and just worry about getting single filed and working their way all the way up to P1 to get the prize money for the night. They're coming up on a slow lap car, but it looks like he's going to be staying high out of the way, as the field is going to have to work their way carefully around him.
Yeah, those 2 first cars, Dale Smalley and Nick Giles, going past that lap car is no big deal, but as he starts pulling back to these guys that are running 3 wide and 2 wide trying to get by each other, it might prove a little difficult. Alan Larson, that number 24, the lap car, going up high. They seem to get by him without difficulty, as that pack behind them is being led by the number 99 of Garrett Denton, by the number 04 of Pat Walsh, but 71 of Vincent Vinny jumping up there on the outside, almost getting a little bit loose. And look who is showing back up to the party in that very fast number 88 car, Michael Churchman, as he starts pulling up to none other than the number 46 of Buddy Waters. Those two have been working together all night, and they have had a very fast duo. So you might be seeing Churchma ditching his drafting partner right now to hook up with Buddy Waters, as they might look for a ticket back up to the front.
Yeah, guys, we're down to 23 cars on the track, 19 cars on the lead lap. David Wink will be the last car down there on the lead lap, and on back, either a lap down or off. Up front, though, you got a challenge, looks like, coming for the lead from the 99 of Garrett Denton.
Yeah, Garrett Denton in that number 99 tries to make a hard charge to the front, being pushed by the number 04 of Patrick Walsh, but he just cannot get it done. But look now up high, the number 46 being pushed by the number 88 of Michael Churchma is down. They have a very fast run up to the front. They're going to try to get up there and be competitive. As whoa, the number 46 almost gets a little loose. They are racing hard back there, Matt.
Racing hard indeed, and a long ways to go. I'm just going to keep saying it because it's a long ways to go. These guys got to find out what they're doing in their heads. We can't figure it out because at this point I'm saying I got to keep my backup clean, or I got to keep the backup to my backup clean so I don't have to quit completely tonight.
Yeah, some of these cars only have one choice left. For instance, somebody like that is the number 71 of Vincent Vinny, who has fallen back to the 13th position, and probably for a good reason, as it got a little heated up there, up the front, as they're banging and bumping off of one each other. Number 88 looking at him, Michael Churchma. That whole group back there is just pounding off each other as they get loose. They're bouncing off one another, cars spinning down. Huge wreck in the tri-oval right behind them as they got loose. Once again, we're under caution here at Talladega Superspeedway.
It looks like that's going to be the end of the night for Vincent Vinny. That 71 machine's all torn up down there on pit road after hitting the hard outside wall coming through the front stretch.
Yeah, the 00 of Daniel E. Miller. They were, like I was saying, I was broadcasting it right then and there. They were bouncing off one each other, getting very loose, and he got too much of a run on the number 46 there of Buddy Waters. Slammed into him, came down hard into the number 99 of Garrett Denton, but Garrett Denton held onto it, which was pretty amazing. But someone who didn't suffice too well against him was the number 07 of Gary Bauer, who was our pole sitter. He took a sharp turn down left and slammed into the grass and spun into the infield. But the number 00 of Daniel E. Miller then came down into the 19 and the 48 as they just kept on wrecking behind him. A lot of cars, a lot of top cars collected in that wreck. Not as big as the past wrecks that we've seen, but then again, we don't really have too many cars to have another big one.
Yeah, and if we want to go for a skilled ride along through this wreck, somebody who's obviously smart about it. We talked to him earlier. He's told us he didn't know why guys were checking up. Let's take a cockpit ride through that wreck with Mark Arthur as he gets through there unscathed along with his teammate, number 4, Kevin Van. Oh, and it actually looks like Mark Arthur got clipped at the end of this as I'm rewatching the wreck. He's got tons of damage to the front end of that machine.
Yeah, it's sad enough. He came down and he got around the majority of the wreck without any incident, but then what ended up happening was the number 48 of Dallas Miracle just ended up coming up a little bit onto the track, and Mark Arthur had nowhere to go, and he bounced off of him and came up and then got slammed into again by the number 24 of Alan Larson, and then the number 98 hit him, and just a horrible chain reaction. And so we just talked, like you said, to Mark Arthur. He definitely was not predicting that he would be caught up into this. He was trying to hold back in the back, but it just goes to show that anything can happen no matter what place you are on the track here at Talladega Superspeedway, which I'm starting to dub as the eater of cars. We don't have too many cars left, Matt.
No, definitely be a torn up field here, and the only way we're not going to have cautions is there's going to be one guy left out there. So let's go from stock car racing, guys. We're going to call this Demolition Derby racing. But Gordon Berkey looks like leading them behind the pace car. We're going to take another step away here to grab some food and drinks to join you guys back here. Channel 2 ETV Live with the Cora Championship Online Racing Association.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Alright guys, back here, the off-topic conversations we have, but back here, Championship Online Racing Association, lap 52. Gordon Berkey out front, going for the win and the cash tonight. Oh, Ted, let's see, we gotta survive more than 20 laps.
This is just an absolute wreck fest. This is unbelievable here at Talladega Super Speedway. But I mean, up front you have the number 17 of Gordon Berkey, a guy that we've talked about towards these last few laps. A lot of big names now up at the front, so it's really shown who's made it through this and walked away with a relatively unscathed car. You have Gordon Berkey in first, Dale Smalley, Michael Churchma, Nick Giles, and Buddy Waters rounding out your top five. And I think the duo that you have to look at now is that number 88 of Michael Churchma and the number 46 of Buddy Waters. They've been working together almost all night, and they have a very, very fast car tandem when they work together, and so look for them as the laps wind down here at Talladega Super Speedway. We're currently on lap 52 out of 101, and Matt, I don't see how we're gonna get through this, through this, man.
Yeah, let's just take them to the top 10 right now. We got Gordon Berkey, Dale Smalley, Michael Churchma, Nick Giles, Buddy Waters rounding out your top 5.
After that, you got Kevin Vaughn in 6th, Patrick Walsh, Ronald Jones, Jared Treese, and the number 99 of Garrett Denton rounding out your top 10.
And guys, we're down to 16 cars on the lead lap. Started with over 30, down to 16. It's a survival of the fittest. And that's exactly what this is coming down to. Tons of guys off track. We got Michael D'Amico coming off for the Lucky Dog. That's number 62. That will put the 17 cars back on the lead lap. Mark Arthur having to take a tow, but out there once again, a lap down, hoping to catch the Lucky Dog. As it looks like, I don't know what he was trying to do there. He tried to get pit road, but I guess he kind of flew through it maybe.
I don't know. At this point, I mean, anything's really can be happening here, and we'll hopefully go back to green flag racing after this. And I'm not even gonna say what I want to see happen after this because I don't want to jinx it by any means. So I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut and hope to God that whatever I'm praying actually does happen here as we go back to green flag racing at Talladega Super Speedway. It's been an interesting night, Matt, and I don't think it's quite over yet.
Definitely not over yet, but guys, Sunday's not the only day we broadcast. Monday nights, 9:30 on Channel 1, you can catch the Real Sim Full Throttle Cup Series sponsored by Bob Earl Racing. Tuesday nights, 9 p.m., Channel 1, ETV Live Team Series Racing sponsored by the HD Radio Network. You can go download the TuneIn app and catch all the HD Radio Network action on the app, even catch the ETV Live radio and our races there. Thursday night, 9:30, Channel 1, you got Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series sponsored by the Inside Sim Racing TV. Friday nights at the end of your week, if you just want to chill by the computer and pick up the feet, you get 9:45, Channel 2, Super Speedway Cup Series and some fantastic racing. Kind of just like this, but with no caution, so it's all out. They race to the end.
Yeah, and we can't do any of this, obviously, without iRacing, and one of the best iRacing radio shows out there is iRacing Today. iRacing Today radio show hosted by Trevor Cameron and Chad Dalton, by the fans and for the fans. This is an unabridged, unbiased, and completely off-the-cuff live radio show about everything iRacing, up close and not personal. Live call-ins, no rules, no back talk, and no BS. iRacing Today radio show Mondays at 8:30 p.m. on ETV Live Radio, etv-eplay.net. Also featured on iTunes, Windows Media Guide, and TuneIn Radio. Get the mobile app from tunein.com.
Double file now, lights off on them Ford Mustang pace car. Come in. You got Chevys all up front, it looks like. Not seeing a single Ford left up front here between these cars. As they go into 3, you're going to make that long trip around to the start-finish line and go back racing.
And hopefully this time around we'll have some good runs, as up in front Gordon Berkey, who's had a very strong car in his number 17, Dale Smalley in number 69, who also has had a very strong car. So very strong cars and good racers up at the front. So it's gonna be very interesting to see exactly what plays out here at Talladega Superspeedway as the laps wind down. We are on lap 54 out of 101. And the sun is slowly starting to set on the speedway, so we better get this done pretty quick, because as you all know, there are no lights here around the track at Talladega Superspeedway.
Yeah, and coming down to where the pace car is going to pull off below that double, or well, in our case right now, it's a dotted yellow line. They fixed that up. It should be a double yellow line. Got to repaint that more clearly for these drivers. That's a line they generally can't pass below, guys. But for right now, coming through the big tri-oval, and green flag is out.
Green flag is out on the speedway as the number 83 of Nick Giles slams into the back of the number 69 of Dale Smalley, giving them a huge jump out front. But the number 17, Gordon Berkey, being pushed by the number 88, Michael Churchma, will not let them get away so easily as they power drive up to the front off of turn 2 and onto the backstretch.
Down the backstretch, you've got the number 17, Gordon Berkey, staying out front, pushed by Churchma. On the outside, you got Smalley trying to work his way up there. And it looks like single file back on until 10th place, where you get the 99 of Denton trying to work the outside and gain a couple positions.
Yeah, back there they're trying to find the right guy to ride with us. Whoa! 69, Dale Smalley almost got a little bit loose there, being pushed by his drafting partner, the number 83 of Nick Giles. But they will once again hard drive up there and try to get up to the front. Michael Churchma, the guy who has usually been running really good with the number 46 of Buddy Waters, is hooked up to Gordon Berkey, the number 17, and Buddy Waters in that number 46 is being left out to dry, trying to find a drafting partner. But we are very stretched out here now at Talladega, as the main cars on the lead lap are all in perfect view, and they're trying to file up single file line, so it looks like we're going to get some pretty good green flag racing, Matt.
Yeah, looking up front, these guys have settled in, trying to think, but as soon as I say that, they got to make a switch, and they're all over the place. One guy down there on the apron, it looks like he's going to be hitting pit road. Let's see if we can't go back and figure out who that was.
Yeah,
and
looking back, it's
number 14.
Yeah, the number 14 of Ronald Jones, Matt. Like you said, he hits pit road and heads on down there. Hopefully he hit it at the right pit road speed so he doesn't get black flagged, because black flags under green flag conditions can absolutely ruin your chance at winning this race here. We're on lap 57 out of 101, heading onto the backstretch. Dale Smalley still trying to make something out of this with his drafting partner, Nick Giles, in the number 83. Now the number 46 of Buddy Waters, sitting back in the 5th position, has finally hooked up with a drafting partner. That's the number 4 of Kevin Bond. We have not talked about him all day today, and Kevin Bond now looks at himself in the top 6 drivers, as now 3 tandems are neck and neck with one another, trying to get that front spot.
Yeah, trying to take away the front spot, get the win tonight, but they can't push too hard, and they've learned that by now, as they've wrecked so many drivers trying to push as hard as they can. And they almost went 3 wide. They are 3 wide right now, and that's a deadly move. Dale Smalley in a hard place to do anything, and they're 2 by 2 by 2 as they go through here.
Yeah, that was a very risque move right there, as they all got separated from one another, but the number 46, Buddy Waters, jots back and hooks up with Kevin Bond in the number 4 again. Dale Smalley now pushing the number 83 of Nick Giles, and Gordon Berkey in that 17 being pushed by Michael Churchma in the 88. He will now lead this lap. That was looking very hairy real quick, but it just goes to show where your good drivers are, your classic Class A drivers. that know what's going on and know their surroundings, because that could have easily turned into another wreck, taking out a lot of top-level drivers. But instead, they held on to it, got through it, broke apart, and now they're back to racing one another as Buddy Waters in that 46 tries to catch up to those two front-runner tandems, 17 of Berkey, the 88 of Michael Churchman, the 83 of Nick Giles, and the 69 as they bounce together. They're wrecking the number 17 and 69 of Dale Smalley. Now number 4 of Vaughn bounces into him. That's Kevin Vaughn, and they're wrecking behind him some more. Black smoke and metal flying all over the place.
And this race has completely changed. Front runners all race long have been avoiding the wrecks. Just this is going to change it up. Everybody in the front, Churchma, Buddy Waters getting through it, and it looks like the 83 Nick Giles may have been able to get
being pushed. Yeah. The thing that I was looking at, Matt, is that Nick Giles being pushed by Smalley there is getting just a huge push. And what ends up happening is that he ends up getting caught on that rear corner panel, something that we've seen all night. And Dale Smalley comes down and came into Berkey, and both of them went up into the track, slamming into the wall very, very hard. Churchma gets by, Waters gets by, but the person that doesn't get by, the man who has been up there, Kevin Vaughn, slams into the 17 of Berkey, and he starts going back up into the wall. But someone who could not get away from it. Once again, Berkey just gets slammed by more cars as they start slamming into each other. The 15 hit him. He has black smoke pouring out. So this is a huge change to this race, and it's going to be really weird to see exactly how this all lines up now. Nick Giles, Michael Churchma, Buddy Watt.
up on that thing because he's going to need it. As he pulls in his pit stall, it doesn't look like so. It looks like they may be telling him that it's all done for him tonight. Ted, this is the first time tonight though we've seen all the, because they're the final fuel window. They can get there if they need to.
Yeah, so like I said, the dynamic has fully changed. Looking up front now, a name that we haven't seen really all day either is that number 40 of David Wink. I mean, he was up there at the beginning of the race, but after that huge wreck that ended up happening, he's back. So I mean, it's a weird dynamic, and it's really weird to see this whole thing unfold. And I was just praising the leaders for being able to save it, and then that wreck happened. And so currently on the track right now, we have only 14 drivers on the lead lap. Mark Arthur looks like he might be our lucky dog around. But Kevin Vaughn in that number 4, he has gone behind the wall with significant damage to his car. And so it's just it's very interesting to see all this changing. Dale Smalley has just been given an EOL penalty, and so another big name and something bad happening to him. So Matt, it's really hard to understand what's happening and how this is going to turn out for these drivers that are left here on the lead lap.
Well, these drivers are being told they got to keep it clean. They've got 40 minutes until somebody else has happened to rent out the track. So hopefully they've reserved enough time here to finish these final 40 laps, as these drivers may have to get out of the way for some other drivers to come out here and play a little bit of the Demolition Derby game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how these next few laps shape out. One message to the drivers that people are saying, shape up or get out, because we have 40 laps left in this race. Lap 61 out of 101, we are under caution, and it's just been a caution-filled night tonight here at Talladega Super Speedway. 14 cars on the lead lap, and so it's very interesting what's going on.
Cracking some jokes from the camera room. We got Laura saying Ricky Bobby's out there on the track and he's going to take the win tonight. So Let's see if he can make up all these
Backwards.
laps quicker than these guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Might as well have Ricky Bobby out there. It might as well be a Talladega Nights story because it's just been crazy. David Wink up there, the number 40, he's in first place. Michael Churchman, the number 88 in second. Buddy Waters right behind him. Gary Bauer and Dallas Miracle rounding out your top 5. A bunch of these cars, 12 cars now on the lead lap. From the regular 33 that were out on the track today, Dale Smalley in 12th place in his number 69, rounding out all the cars that are on the lead lap. And so this is interesting, Matt. It's going to be really interesting to see exactly what happens as the lights on the pace car are out and guys are getting a double file.
Double file it is, and always here. But these guys got to get their heads going and in the right direction. I mean, I've seen a lot of these cars going backwards up against the wall. Let's see if they can't get them going forwards around the yellow line.
And maybe they will end up giving that happen. Lights are still on the pace car. That was my own mistake, but they are trying to get double file now, so I apologize for that. Guys to look for now as the laps start winding down and we start getting closer to the finish. Michael Churchman, that number 88, and Buddy Waters in that number 46. Both of them have worked together quite well tonight. When they hook up, they can be quite deadly. And so they might prove to be a absolute handful for that number 40 of David Wink. As the number 20, the guy we talked to earlier, Mark Arthur, is getting ready to have his wave around as he holds on up there by the pace car. And he's waiting to get word from the officials on his wave around. He has now been waved around. Mark Arthur will get his lap back, and he will be the lucky dog of this caution. And so we'll see what he can do as he will be in 13th position. That'll be 13 cars on the lead lap here at Talladega Superspeedway. As the lights have jumped off, the pace car will be ready to go back to green flag racing after this.
38 laps to go. 38 laps to go here at Talladega Superspeedway. 40 minutes to complete it. If they keep going at the pace they are, it's sad to say that they probably won't make it to the end, but with the fewer drivers here on the lead lap, down to a little under 16 drivers, with on the lead lap, they all have damage at somewhere on their cars, except for the few who just pulled out the backup. Looks like the 99 of Garrett Denton finally pulling out the backup with a brand new polished up car. Back there in 6th place position, strong runner all night. He could be riding in one of the Bob Earl Racing cockpits. Who better than a real race car driver to design a simulation racing cockpit? After all, he knows what it means to be comfortable. He's also proudly sponsoring the 2013 RSR Full Cup Series and a high quality affordable virtual cockpit priced at only $349 a shipping. Go over to BobEarlRacing.com, check it out. These drivers need it to do how good they do, and you guys can use it at home. Christmas present, birthday present, it's all the same. If you really love the person, because they'll love it too.
So they are exiting turn number 4, Matt, as we get back to go to green flag racing. That pace car will soon dip off onto pit road, and hopefully will dip off onto pit road for the last time tonight. We are on lap 63 out of 101 here at Daytona Talladega Superspeedway. It's been a long day, boys, but hopefully this will be a big green flag run that will take us all the way to the end, Matt.
As the 40 David Wank and Churchma await the official to drop the flag, steadily waiting, bunching up the field, and the flag is down, taking off exactly even this time. A great restart by both drivers.
An absolutely great restart by both drivers. The number 40 of David Wank holding on to it with that number 46 of Buddy Waters white underneath him, able to push him along. Churchma's trying to get that good run by our pole sitter, Gary Bauer, but he drops down low behind the number 46 of Buddy Waters, leaving Churchma up there all alone on that top line. Will Dallas Miracle jump up there to help him out? It looks like he will, as he'll jump up and get onto the back bumper of Michael Churchma. But David Wink in that number 40 able to hold his own as he sits in the number 1 place. But Buddy Waters jumping out of line there, getting out of the draft. I was wondering what he was doing. Number 07, a guy who's been up and down, up and around all day today. He is up there sitting in the 5th position as of right now, pushing along with the number 46 of Buddy Waters. But Michael Churchma and Dallas Miracle in that number 88 and 48 respectively making a hard drive up on that high side.
Yeah, I think Dallas missed the memo, guys. He didn't get the fact that they got to settle this out and try and get going green here for the next 40 laps as they try and complete the race in its full length. Looking behind him, though, you got the 46 and the 07 now trying to work that high side and get hooked up to work their way around David Wink.
Yeah, and right now the main thing that they need to try to do is just hold on to their positions and last this out until the end of the race. They are racing hard and they're racing good and clean. One thing that's going to prove a problem with the number 46 of Buddy Waters and the number 40 of David Wink, and you also got back there the number 07 of Bauer, is that they're going to have to try to figure out who's going to help who out, because there's 3 cars there and only 2 can tandem draft. It doesn't really work too well when you got 3 guys trying to draft with one another down the backstretch. So far, these guys look like they're doing it quite well, but we'll see how long that lasts. As definitely that back little run of cars, that little pack sitting back there might catch up to them as the laps start to wind down, Matt.
Yeah, you got Churchma out there with a good lead right now with Churchma and Dallas Markle. But once they make that switch, they give all that time back to those 3 cars going on behind them. It's just when and if it will happen, or if they'll just kind of separate a little bit to keep their that nose.
Yeah, those 3 cars there, David Wink, Buddy Waters, and Gary Bauer, have kind of settled each other and have set into line. Gary Bauer in that number 07 is holding on to that those 2-car tandem drafts, but he'll soon look like to be slipping back as he's lost the draft from these 2. It looks like as those back pack ends up moving up to him. Let's jump back there and see exactly that backpack going on, being led by the number 83 of Nick Giles, as he is being pushed by the number 69 of Dale Smalley. These guys are back in it. Dale Smalley in a backup car as they're moving up to the front once again. And so it really paid off being up there in the front of that race earlier, because now that all those wrecks have gotten out of the way, the pack has dwindled down to 13 cars on the lead lap. Having these backup cars really pays off as they start pushing their way up to the front. Dale Smalley and the number 83 of Nick Giles are pushing very hard up there towards the number 07 of Gary Bauer, who sits in 5th position. They want to try to make a run for this first place position, Matt.
There they go for the switch. Churchma back out front. A little bit of a messy switch there, but it doesn't look like they gave up enough time to David Wink and Buddy Waters. Looking back through the pack, you got Garrett Denton left out to hang, but people like Vincent Vinny keeping up with a lap car. He's got that 62. Michael D'Amico, who, if the caution came out right now, would get the wave around, but he's happy to help out a fellow lead lapper.
Guys that I want to look back at is that Nick Giles in the number 83 being pushed by, or pushing Dale Smalley rather. They're hitting right now 204 miles an hour down that backstretch. They have a absolutely devastating run. 206 they're topping out at, going off into the corner. They are roping up these guys. They have caught up huge ground on that number 46 of Buddy Waters being pushed by David Wank in the number 40. They're making a huge run up to that front line, and soon in the next couple laps they may even be able to catch the leader there, that number 88 and number 48. And so those 2 guys are somebody to look forward to as they're hitting 206 down the backstretch and front stretch off into the corner as they jump up to switch.
Yeah, they just ran a 46.795 to the leaders, 47.112. You do the math. That's a little over half a second that they're going to gain on the leaders just in that one lap, is they're going to hook up and do it again.
Yeah, they jumped out and lost the draft a little bit of one another, but once again they're hooked up. Now the 83 out in front, Nick Giles being pushed by Dale Smalley in that number 69. Coincidentally, the Talladega Nights Ricky Bobby car. So They're moving up. They're pushing hard. Once again now topping out at 204 miles an hour down that backstretch. They are absolutely huffing it. They know that this race is going to soon be over. They want to be up at the front when that does happen. These guys are now evenly spread, these 3 tandem draft cars. You have Dallas Miracle, Michael Churchma, David Wank, Buddy Waters, Nick Giles, and Dale Smalley all making a run for the lead. And I guarantee you they'll all be up there racing for that lead very soon.
Yeah, as they're all closing in. The draft from that tango in front of you helps you as much as it does the guy behind you get a little bit extra air and be able to stay there a little bit less, as it uses less horsepower for you to speed up. These guys flying 207 out of turn 4 from the number 83 of Nick Giles and Dale Somali, as they're quickly running down these leaders faster than anybody else tonight.
Yeah, their last lap ringed in right there at 46.488 as their lap time. 206 is the highest I've seen them running together, which is just absolutely crazy, as they have caught up to the number 40 of David Wank and the number 46 of Buddy Waters. Moving up fast, they're going to try to get past them now, get into that 2 and 3 position, and with a little bit of help, it's going to be from Michael Churchma and Dallas Miracle, as they will split to try to get some air into each other's engines. The number 40 of David Wank and the number 46 of Buddy Waters very hooking up fast. The number 48, Dallas Miracle, getting loose as they enter onto the trioval. Dale Smalley and the number 83 of Nick Giles will hold on to their position, but they have caught up, and now it's going to be a 3 tandem car run up there for first place. That was getting a little sketchy, Matt.
Yeah, it's going to get a little sketchy here as stuff starts to move towards the front. As it's going to look like they're going to try and go 3 wide on the yellow line, but they don't. Side by side for the lead. Churchman on the high side, they swerve even higher. Is Buddy Waters, they're 3 wide. Buddy Waters in the middle.
Buddy Waters trapped in the middle. Oh, God, the 83 bouncing off a lap car coming in there, almost taking them out as they were on the high side, but Dale Smalley able to jump down along with Nick Giles. That was getting pretty hectic there, and to add a little bit of grief to them was that lap car as they slung by. The number 20 right there of Mark Arthur, who got his lead lap back last lap around, has just gone a lap down once again. Pretty heavy damage to that car as he's not able to keep up, and he lost the draft. Buddy Waters now in the 46 with David Wank, his drafting partner, switching it up. That will give Dale Smalley and Nick Giles the opportunity to jump up high and get past them. But up there at the front, the number 88 of Michael Churchman, the number 48 of Dallas Miracle have a huge run as they are racing very fast down towards that line. Those are the cars to watch tonight, Matt, as the laps start winding down. Lap 74 of 101.
The 83 getting a little jostled as they come out of 4, and he's right, these are the only 6 cars really left in the race. Nick Giles rounding out the top 6. You got Vincent Vinny back 7 seconds, and then everybody else back there is a single car by themselves, losing a little over 2 seconds a lap to these leaders. So definitely this is the race all in one camera shot.
Yeah, Nick Giles had to jump up, get a little bit of air into his engine as he switches with Dale Smalley. Another lap car now coming down towards them. They will go up single file down low as the lap car goes up high, as they will move forward. Michael Churchma and Dallas Miracle have a very strong tandem going. They have 2 very strong cars, and so it's gonna be very hard to see exactly who's gonna come out on top at the end of this race, because these guys have really held it on 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 this entire time. No one's really made any real progress. I will tell you one thing though, that 83 of Nick Giles and number 69 of Dale Smalley work absolutely great together. As you look up at the front, Dallas Miracle and Michael Churchman will trade off to get some air into their engine, and both the other tandems will go up and split them. We are going 3 wide down the backstretch. Look out there, boys.
26 laps to go in this 101 lap race here at Talladega. Of course, we use some laps at the front to do at the beginning of this race to do a nice tribute. As we're rounding out these laps, we're going to step away for one last time and hopefully bring you to the checkered from there. This is the Cora Online Racing Association, lap 76. Don't go away.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Back here, Championship Online Race Associated Smoke as they come out of 2. Wank falling back a little bit, losing his partner, and going all the way back to the 46. Buddy Waters once again. They head down into 3 here. You caught all the action side by side here with the ETV Live camera crew. Laura down there making all that magic happen.
Oh, hey, back here at Talladega Super Speedway. Oh, man, it's getting late, guys. Buddy Waters in that number 46, he ended up hitting the apron while we were going side by side. He lost the draft and fell back, and David Wank has now fallen back with him. But surprisingly enough, they haven't really lost the draft from the main group. Looking back up at the front, you got Dale Small. Loose! Nick Giles is loose in the 83 as he jumps down onto the backstretch and slams into the wall. Single car wreck on the backstretch as we go yellow flag here once again. Caution out on the speedway here at Talladega. We'll look back. No caution is out in the speedway. No caution as the number 83 of Nick Giles just got loose and he's hurting, Matt.
Yeah, and that's going to also put your points leader from your champion from past season, Daniel Somali, in a hard place. That was his drafting partner all the way to the end. Now it's going to be about a 4-car battle for the win here.
Yeah, what ended up happening, it looked like just he got loose. I mean, when they came down here, if we look closely, he was pushing the number 69 of Dale Smalley, and as they were exiting turn number 2, it just looked like he caught the rear quarter panel and just got a little bit loose as he spun down and ended up slamming into the wall very hard. His car taking a lot of damage, both on the left rear tires popping and everything from the amount of force taken. Just a heavy hit for that car, the number 83. And but looking back live up at the front, Michael Churchma, the number 88, being pushed by the number 48, his drafting partner of Dallas Miracle, as it is now turned into a 2-car tandem race with right behind them David Wank and Buddy Waters, because Dale Smalley, our reigning champion, has lost a drafting partner with Nick Giles, who ended up taking that spill, and no caution came out on the raceway. So 4 cars here, it looks like, will be racing for this win. Michael Churchman, the 88, Dallas Miracle, and the 48, David Wank, and the 48, and Buddy Waters, in the number 46.
It looks like these tangos have synchronized their switch, so neither of them lose time to each other, as we see them switch both in turns 3 and 4 there. So Dallas Miracle would lead that lap. Buddy Waters closely following that tango with David Wink. Dale Somali, no partner, already 3 seconds back and going to be falling back even further.
And that's just an absolutely tough break for Dale Smalley, because Dale Smalley and Nick Giles had a very fast tandem. They were back at least 2.5 seconds, and then they ended up gaining that ground on the lead cars and got up there and got the lead, because that's where the wreck happened, was from the very front, the lead. And so it's a very it's a very upsetting for Dale Smalley, obviously, as he falls back. Still in 5th place. He's still looking at a 5th place top finish, but he is all alone back there. Back up at the front, Dallas Miracle taking that lap, being pushed by the number 88 of Michael Churchman. They have to split a lap car in the middle. As they get split up in the middle, the number 88 Michael Churchman dips down onto the apron there, getting very loose. However, all cars have split up from one another. Michael Churchman and Dallas Miracle have now gotten back together, but David Wink and Buddy Waters all alone.
Yeah, Wank's going to have to catch up to him quick. Waters probably going to actually have to let off so they don't lose too much time. But I don't get why Wank's not trying to get as much draft as he can off that 48. And this definitely could have cost him the race here.
Yeah, but we're only at lap 84 out of 101, so we have some time to go still. not a lot of time. It is crunch time here at Talladega Super Speedway. However, Michael Churchma, Dallas Miracle up there at the front got separated along with Buddy Waters and David Wank, so hopefully David Wank and Buddy Waters can get back up there and get to the front and challenge for this lead. With these two-car tandems, there's one thing that you need to understand. When it comes down to that last lap, I guarantee we're still going to have an exciting finish, because that's still going to be two cars racing for that win, regardless if they're drafting one another. I'll tell you what, partnership and drafting and everything is just going to go out the window. It is going to start happening from drafting to try to get ahead to slingshotting yourself using that draft to get ahead and win this race. All buddies are gone at the end of this race, and you're not looking for a pound anymore, you're looking for a win.
Yeah, these lap cars jostling up the field as I see the 88 get a little bit loose as they come back down to the low side. Buddy Waters working his way up that high side by the lap cars, gaining a lot of time on the leaders there as they caught those lap cars in just a horrible place.
Yeah, and they're exiting the backstretch, heading off into 3. Buddy Waters in that 46 with his drafting partner, David Wank, have once again gotten up there and will be fighting for this lead. However, one thing that I've seen is they haven't switched off as soon as Dallas Miracle and Michael Churchma have. Maybe Michael Churchma and Dallas Miracle have just been having their engine heating up a lot more, but I think we're going to see Buddy Waters and David Wank split up in a couple seconds to try to get some air into their car and get it. But now Michael Churchma, I beg to differ, splits up with Dallas Miracle to try to switch up, but and flawless, almost absolutely flawless. They actually did more damage to the number 40 of David Wank and Buddy Waters in that 46 than themselves, because they're back hooked up once again in those two cars. Buddy Waters, David Wank are still split up trying to catch up to one another.
Yeah, but completing the switch there will be able to help them at least keep up in this long run. And I'm actually sorry they didn't complete a switch on that lap. So still hurting, because that 40 is going to be overheating as soon as they get going here, and they're going to have to make the switch and lose all that time that they've just gained, unless they can keep these cars together long enough to force that 48 to overheat before they can get back separated.
I think whenever they separate from one another, like they are right now, they're not really on each other's bumper like the 48 and 88 are. And so I think that in and of itself is kind of getting a little bit more air into his car, which is making him able to hold on to his position that he's in right now. I don't think, however, the 46 Buddy Waters knows that maybe that's what he's trying to do. Because I think by David Wank going back like he is, he's kind of saying to Waters, like, hey, get back here, switch up with me and try to do this. But instead, Buddy Waters takes advantage of the draft, tries to get below the 88 of Michael Churchman and hook up with the 48, but 48's not having any of that, and Dallas Miracle jumps back up in front of Churchman as they race each other to the line. But now, hey, David Wank back up there pushing Buddy Waters. They're trying to go for the lead.
It's a little over 12 to go here as they work down their way back on the backstretch side by side. Buddy Waters looking to lead a lap here and get by Churchma and Markle on the outside here as they go off into 3 and 4.
They'll head off into 3 and 4, and with that, Buddy Waters and David Wank get a good lead, a good sizable lead from Michael Churchma and Dallas Miracle. However, I have not seen those cars switch up yet, one push the other, so it kind of, you gotta ask yourself, when are they gonna do that big switch? And when it does happen, are Dallas Miracle and Michael Churchma gonna switch with them, or are they gonna take advantage and try to get that lead again? But Buddy Waters now looking, he is up front, and he is looking in the number 1 position with David Wank right behind him. Lap 90 of 101. Crunch time, baby. We are down to the final laps here at Talladega Superspeedway.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm not quite sure when the last time David Wank hit. I don't know if I saw him come down after that last caution, if he stayed out to gain as many spots as he could. So definitely could be fuel close on that 40. The rest I know are good, but trying to get a read out on David Wank.
And that will definitely be very, you got to look very closely at that as the laps wind down, because if he's out there in front being pushed by Buddy Waters and all of a sudden just runs out of fuel, then Buddy Waters is going to have to do something if he wants to try to win this, or else he'll be stuck like Dale Smalley was when Nick Kyles ended up wrecking on the backstretch, and he'll be all alone. But right now, up front, David Wenk and Buddy Waters moving it, but up top, Michael Churchma and his drafting partner, Dallas Miracle, in the number 88 and 48, moving to take that number 1 spot away from the number 40 of David Wenk.
Yeah, guys, I'm looking back. Wank be 3 or 4 laps short from where he had pit, so it's definitely going to be close coming down to the end. I know these cars may have a little bit better fuel economy than the old ones. I haven't been down doing a fuel run in a while.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how his fuel will hold up with this. Maybe that's why he's been letting off the gas and holding on back from his drafting partner, Buddy Waters. But Michael Churchman, Dallas Miracle, those 2 strong cars once again take the lead as they head off onto the backstretch. Not lap 92 out of 101 here as the laps wind down, and we will soon see a winner here at Talladega Superspeedway.
You've got 10 laps to go right now, coming through 3 and 4. Passing lap cars 2 by 2. This could get dangerous as they come out of the 4.
This could get very dangerous as the number 46 hooks up with Dallas Miracle in that 48. They move up and almost slam into each other, but Dallas Miracle hooks up with his drafting partner, Michael Churchma, almost flawlessly as they hook up once again and head off into turn 1. Buddy Waters trying to hook up with David Wank. They will do that and they will hold on to it. These guys are getting chopped up by these lap cars coming around, but they somehow are always able to help get back together and not lose too much ground with it. But awkwardly enough, as you look at that lap car that they did pass the number 07 of Gary Bauer, who's in 8th place right now, a lap down, is holding on tight with them and pushing along. So as we talked about earlier, David Wank might be a little low on fuel and might run out of fuel just shy of the finish. Maybe Bauer, who's able to hold up there, our pole sitter, will hold on to push Buddy Waters to the win. We will just have to see as we're on lap 94 out of 101, Matt. We are winding down.
Yeah, and the pace they've set has allowed them officials to say they will be able to complete the full length of this, given there isn't another caution. So coming down the backstretch, you've got Bauer, and the key word you used there was push. He hasn't really been pushing them. They've just kind of gotten that 3-car line. They got to push if they want to get back up there. Churchma going for the switch again.
Yep, Michael Churchman jumps down low, switching with Dallas Miracle as he'll go out, and down low on the apron is David Wank in the 40. He's going to be running out of fuel and will be going to the pit. Bauer, like I said before, now hooks up with the number 46 of Buddy Waters as they now push to the front, trying to get the lead with only 6 laps to go here at Talladega Superspeedway.
Did Bauer post this the whole time, knowing that his teammate may have needed some help as they hook up coming out of turn 2, looking for the lead? They have the run on the high side.
They do. They're on the backstretch. They have that solid lead on the high side. Michael Churchma and Dallas Miracle not wanting to give up that lead, however. But Gary Bauer, that number 07, has a very fast car, pushing his teammate of Buddy Waters up there. This is going to be an absolutely exciting finish, Matt, as the laps once again start ticking on down.
Exciting and competitive. Unexpected, the least, to say Gary Bauer would actually be up here. Yeah, he's 1 lap down. 1 lap down in this race means 8th place, buddy. So he is going out there. He will still have a top 10 finish tonight.
Which is good to say. Looking at our laps as of right now, or our positions as of right now, positions 1 through 7 are the only ones on the lead lap. We started with 33 cars on the lead lap tonight. Only 7 remain. David Wank in the number 40 being that final car. But looking back up in the front, that's the thing we want to see most as Michael Churchma switches up with Dallas Miracle. Looking on the bottom, taking advantage of that is Buddy Waters and his teammate Gary Bauer, who is now looking in 8th place right now, 1 lap down on the lead lap, so he'll still get a top 10 finish. They're pushing up to the front. Lap 97 they're on right now out of 101.
They're catching Wank. Wank helping out the 46 for so long could really throw a wrench in the 48 and the 88 plan to go out there and grab the win tonight. Those top 3 cars with 1 lap car mixed in there and about to be 2 as they still roll up on Wank, who's going to be a lap down before the end of this.
Yeah, David Wank is gonna start falling back. He'll be down a lap by the time that this is over, but he did an absolutely wonderful job tonight pushing the number 46 of Buddy Waters, and it makes you think if like all three of them were talking to their spotters and crew chiefs during these last laps that we've had on this green flag run, because we've had a really good green flag run, and maybe they're talking back and forth to each other, and David Wank was like, hey guys, I'm not gonna make it. So we're going to need to do something to where you guys can get up here. And, I mean, almost as if it was a miracle in and of itself, Gary Bauer, teammate of the number 46 Buddy Waters, gets up there, pushes him, and they're doing very well. This lap car is pushing him very hard. But David Wank and that number 40, who was just up there and had to go into the pits out of gas, has gone a lap down. Buddy Waters trying to catch up to our leader, Michael Churchma.
40 laps to go here. Not 40, excuse me. 4 laps to go as they come out of turn 4. You've got Churchma out in the lead right now, being pushed by Dallas Markle. Buddy Waters, Dale Somali is going to follow back. He's actually all by himself, 28 seconds behind. And they'll have probably a few more lap cars here. You see him working around down there on the low side, putting a wrench in this race. But you know what? Who this is really working out for? Gary Bauer with that draft, picking out a couple more positions before the end of this.
Yep, Gary Bauer, even though a lap down, will go into the 7th position now as he pushes his partner and teammate, number 46 of Buddy Waters, as they try to get up there to the leader of Michael Churchman, Dallas Miracle, as they will both jump up and switch off right now to get some more air into their engine. They're trying to cool themselves up so they don't blow up by the time this is over, but they have a huge lead on Buddy Waters and Gary Bauer as they head off onto the front stretch. More lap cars to come, but it will not slow them down as they will go 2 laps to go here at Talladega Super Speedway.
2 laps to go. The question is, on that final lap, can they play nice or will they take each other out, giving Buddy Waters a chance? They close the gap by half a second on their last lap, pulling up to the leaders once again as they're in a rush. Look at that gap closing as they're coming all the way down into 3, giving that high side Churchma to the front for the final switch, coming to the final lap, and he almost pushes the 48 of Dallas Markle up the track as they come out of 4.
They have closed the gap just superbly. They moved up so well. Buddy Waters now fighting for that lead, being pushed by his teammate Gary Bauer. Gary Bauer has nothing to lose right now and nothing to gain. He is just out there pushing his teammate, hoping that his teammate and Buddy gets this win. Buddy Waters still up front. Michael Churchman up high, being pushed by Dallas Miracle. We're on the last lap here at Talladega Super Speedway. Who will win as Buddy Waters is in the lead as they go down the back stretch? Matt, take us to the checkered.
He moves up. The lights are blinking. They don't care. They got to get all the way around. There's enough water in those things. You've got Bauer on the inside being pushing Buddy Waters. Churchman on the outside being pushed by Dallas Markle as they come out of 4. Buddy Waters with the advantage. Churchman coming to the outside as they're going to come across the line. It looks like Buddy Waters has the advantage. He moves up. They touch. Churchman, they're around. And it looks like it's going to be Dallas Markle with the win as they wreck across the line. The 88 of Michael Churchman will finish 3rd, where Buddy Waters will finish 2nd. So 1, 2, 3, 48, 46, 88. What a crazy finish.
What an absolutely insane finish coming around that tri-oval. You had Dallas Miracle, Buddy Waters, Michael Churchman all pushing as hard as they can to get to the front. Gary Bauer helping out his teammate in the number 46. As they came down to the start-finish line, Buddy Waters came up on Michael Churchman, trying to jostle him and get him off that draft. It worked for a second, but then Michael Churchman turned down into Buddy Waters, both of them spinning across the line, and Dallas Miracle ended up getting it. It was a Dallas Miracle in and of itself. He got by and he got the win because those two wrecked out.
Guys, there's the finish of your race. We're going to step away and gather up these 3 drivers to talk to us and let us know what happened. We'll be right back here on ETV Live with the Cora Championship Online Racing Association.
If you're you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50 caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, cowboy.
And we're back live here with the Cora Series Championship. Trying to catch up with a few of our post-race drivers here, so just give me one more quick second, guys. Alright, we're going to go from third to first. And we have Churchma. Churchma, do you have a copy with us in the booth?
Yes, I do.
Alright, you finished third in that wild finish. It looked like you were going to get the win for a second, but a little bit of a bang cost you the chance at a win. What was in your mind coming down to that final lap?
Well, I had a heck of a push coming off of 4 there, and I seen Buddy push up just a little bit, trying to put the block on me, and I thought I was going to edge ahead of him, but he come up into me, and we kind of hit the outside wall there, which allowed Dallas to take on the win. But all in all, we had a pretty good car and enjoyed racing.
All right, we're going to catch up with you next week, hopefully. Is there anybody you want to thank that got you the setup or teammates that helped you out throughout this race?
Yeah, I want to thank my teammates at Storm Motorsports for helping me out with this setup here, and that's pretty much all it. It ran good through the whole 100 laps here.
All right, congratulations, Michael, on your third place finish tonight, and better luck for the future. But I'm running down here trying to catch up with everybody. You got Buddy Waters, second place finisher tonight, looking like he had the win coming out of turn 4, went up to throw the block and cost himself the win, but definitely second place, not a bad finish, buddy. How did you feel throughout this whole race?
It was a pretty good race, a lot of cautions, but me and the '07 had plans to work together, and he ended up getting like a lap down. And then David Wink, I think, they didn't have enough gas to make it, so then I was able to hook back up with the '07.
Yeah, we were wondering if you would pre-plan the whole fuel strategy thing where knowing Wank couldn't make it the whole way, having that '07 wait up for you.
Yeah, 10-4. It seemed to work out pretty good.
Alright, and it did work out pretty good for you. Came away with a second place finish. Is there anybody you want to thank? I know you got to thank that '07 for getting you where you finished. How about anybody else?
Just the '07, and it was his setup that I was running tonight, and it seemed to run good.
Alright, guys. Second place finisher, Buddy Waters, almost got the win, but nearly edged it away. Going all the way over to victory lane in the number 48 car, Dallas Markle, coming from the back to the front multiple times after being involved in crashes. How did you get through that final wreck?
Oh, I wasn't really expecting the win on the final one there. I had a little bit of damage in my car or truck, and I was just hoping to push Michael to the win there, and things scuffled up, and I managed to get underneath of him, just squeaked by for the win.
What made it so you were able to get up to the front and stay up there and not get involved in a couple of those wrecks?
I was just switching my partners, so I was running up through the field, and things just worked out in my favor. I lost a couple of my partners up through the way, but I managed to get up there and found Michael. We were able to work together till the end.
All right. Is there anybody you'd like to thank out there, Dallas?
I'd just like to thank Cora for putting this all on.
All right, guys. You hear him. You got Cora, the Championship Online Racing Association, here in the booth tonight. Me, Matt Close. Alongside me was Ted. He had it out a little bit early. Ted Manning. All down on the booth. You got Laura and JD giving us the stats, executive producer, making it all happen behind the scenes. We'll see you guys here next time. You guys can catch the Monday Night Series, RCR Full Throttle Cup Series tomorrow night, or you can catch us back here, Cora, next Sunday. Have a nice night.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.